Hey girls, welcome to the Asterisk Podcast. I'm your host, April Biondolillo. Hey girls, welcome back to the Asterisk Podcast, where I'm your host, April Biondolillo. And today on the show, we have not just any ordinary guest. We have literally my best friend. You may know her. You may have seen her. Talk about her a lot. Her name is Katie Brown. She is the most stunning individual you will ever lay eyes on. I am not jealous or anything like that. That would be crazy. But Katie is a fashion stylist and model. She is the person I go to when I am struggling with what to wear. I literally FaceTime her, text her, and I'm saying, put this outfit together, make me look good. So anytime I get a compliment on an outfit, it is because Katie Brown has put her special touch on it. But more than all of the fashion and the modeling, she is been someone in my life that I've gone to for every season and stage of my life. Truly, she has been there, been the most intentional, kindest, sweetest spirit. If you know her, you know she is just the most genuine person you have ever interacted with. So I'm so excited for you guys to get to hear more of her story, what makes her her, and just her journey with Worth. So without any further ado, Katie, thank you for being on the podcast today. Thank you for being my best friend and just being here with me. This is so fun. I know. I'm like, don't cry.
I know. Don't make me cry. I can't cry. I can't
I
do
know.
it.
We got it.
Love it.
But go ahead and let's just hear a little bit more of your story of how did you come to know Jesus, a little bit of what your upbringing was like.
Yeah. So I grew up in church and I was saved at 8 or 9 in my grandparents' bedroom, which was really, yeah, I can see it in my mind, definitely a pivotal point in my life.
Yeah.
But so basically growing up, I started between the ages of 4 and 5, I started gaining a significant amount of weight.
Mm.
And I really didn't notice that until I was probably like 9 or 10. And I remember being in a fitting room with my mom. We might have been back to school shopping. And at the time, Old Navy was like really it. Like, this was like, the
Prime
epitome of like
time.
2004 fashion.
Yeah. I love
There
it.
was a shirt that I wanted that had like puppies on it. Like, I can see it in my head. And I remember being in that fitting room, and I think I had the largest, I had the largest size in the kids
Mm.
section, and I couldn't fit into it. And I think it registered in my mind at that time, like, there's something wrong with me. Like, I'm not
Mm.
normal because I'm the same age as my friends and they're wearing these clothes. Why can't I fit into them? And
Yeah.
so I think that was like the first time that it really did hit me, like, oh, I'm different. There's something different about me, but I didn't know really what that was.
Wow.
And yeah, that continued um, throughout middle school, high school. Again, like, I remember vividly, like, doing laundry when I was 13 years old, putting up a pair of jeans and holding them up and just weeping and asking God why he made me like this.
Wow.
And I understand that everyone has to have something, like, no one's
Yeah.
perfect. But, like, why did this have to be my struggle?
Mm.
Why couldn't he have given me something else?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, and then when I got to high school, I was like 17 or 18. That was probably like the lowest I ever felt about myself.
Mm.
But you would have never known. And you knew me at this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You never would have known because I tried to perfect my personality,
Yeah.
like, really, like, make myself the most fun, bubbly, like, outgoing girl. When that is me, but I wanted people
Absolutely.
to think that that was me 100% of the time.
Yeah. The only part that
And
they
it,
would see.
right. And that's not me 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So, and it even, perfected my personality and perfected the way I dressed, like my hair. Like, I was thinking about it and I had like this hair routine. Like, my hair was even longer in high school than it is now.
It was. It
And
was
like,
a mane. And I was
and like
jealous.
oh my gosh, well, every 2 or 3 days, like, I would take 2.5 hours to like wash it, dry it, and style it
Wow.
because I couldn't go to school with my hair not done because I wanted to distract people from my weight. I didn't want people to talk about my weight so much, so that I was like, okay, well, if that's going to be something that I see personally as my flaw, everything else is going to be perfect about me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I would say that was definitely like your persona for sure. Like I would have had no idea. Like there were thoughts and questions in the back of my mind of like, how does she really feel? And we were still like, friendships are so funny. You know each other for a while, but it takes time for you to like go deep and be real and to trust people with the most vulnerable parts of yourself. And I think that's, where we connected a lot, but I think as we matured into our later years of high school, probably like around junior or senior year, I think that's where we started to really be transparent with one another. And I literally remember being in the like driveway to my garage at home, sitting in the car with you in my forceful, not so gentle way, being like, tell me how you're really feeling. Like, what's going on? Like, I just wanted to get inside your head because I genuinely cared. But I think that was, one of the first times, that we got to be real in that way of like how you were struggling with, body image, which is such a buzzword today. But back then, I feel like we didn't really talk about it as much as we do now. There wasn't as much awareness to all the different sizes, and we'll talk more about that as well. But I think that's just really good right off the bat for anyone listening of the importance of with your friends, no one is ever 100% perfect all the time. And so being intentional and looking out for those things and asking the hard questions and not allowing your friends just to be these surface things, like God's placed them in your life, be real with one another, and ask those questions and share to see what's going on. So, where do you specifically feel like you struggled with your worth as you were growing up? Like you're talking about these moments of holding up the pair of jeans and just crying like, God, why did you make me this way? Why is this my struggle? How did that continue to proceed? Like there was a lot of overcompensation in your life, it sounds like, but how did that proceed in your life? And is that something that you still wrestle and struggle with today?
yeah. I mean, I definitely have days. Like I'm a person. I'm not perfect, but I think it wasn't until like my early to like mid 20s I really craved having that personal relationship with Jesus. And I was like,
Yeah.
I need this because all this validation I'm seeking from other people like isn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
I not fulfilling
Yeah.
For me, and I need something. I'm craving more for
Yeah.
myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like I mean, it completely changed my life
Yeah.
because I was so hateful to myself and so nitpicky about myself, and it makes me so sad to think about that. That I was just
Yeah.
so bad, so
Or
mean
like,
to myself.
yeah, our biggest bully, that voice in our heads.
Mhm.
So we're hearing a little bit of like how you viewed yourself looking back. Were there formative years you can pinpoint where you saw a change in your confidence?
Yeah, I mean, definitely like that mid-20s that I was talking about.
Yeah.
I think I saw something the other day that was like, God created the universe in 6 days, but he took 9 months to create each one of us,
I love that.
and, like, took the time to create each and every single cell on us, and, like,
Yeah.
how amazing is that? And so I think when I stand in the mirror and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't like this," or "I wish I could change this," I think how sad that makes God.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. The intentionality and how, yeah, we're made in the image of God, and we read over that, or sometimes it can sound kind of churchy or cliche, like, oh, cool. Like it's just,
Yeah,
but when you really sit and think on it, it's like when we are insulting ourselves, we're insulting the creator, the one that made us. And it's like
exactly.
he's going, I didn't make a mistake. There's
Yeah,
there's not a flaw about you. It's just how much we've allowed culture and outside influences to shape and define what we view as beauty, as worthy. So I think what you're hitting on is spot on. Um,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
How was growing up around people who had different appearances? Like, how did that influence your own journey towards self-acceptance and confidence?
Yeah, it was definitely really hard. I mean, like, definitely not really having anyone around me that looked like me and could really identify with what I was going through. Like, that was really tough. Like, you and our other friends, like, obviously, you would have been there to listen. Like, I have
Yeah.
no doubt about that. But you couldn't step in the place that, I sort of needed at that time.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, when I stepped into modeling, like, for me, that was a big change because now I do have people that understand where I'm coming from and that grew up the
Absolutely.
same way I did. And it is like such a blessing to me to be able to have those relationships and friendships. And it is such like a sweet thing. I mean, it came much later in life, but
Yeah.
it is such a blessing to have people that you can relate to in that way.
And I think something that was super fun as one of your close friends was I got to watch you grow in that confidence, like, it's kind of like your parents or your dad or, like, whoever can tell you all day long, "You're the most beautiful person ever," and you're like, "Yeah, you have to say that." And sometimes our closest friends, it's like I mean, yeah, there's some friends out there and be like, "Yeah, you're not looking good today," but I think for the most part, we're like, it comes out of a place of love and so it couldn't be the people surrounding you to tell you how beautiful you were. Like it was something that you had to discover for yourself and actually choose to believe it. And being on the sidelines, the front row of your life, getting to watch you like, you were always, like, in high school like, let me give you guys a little example of Katie Brown. Like, Katie was the most energetic, life of the party, music goes on, people are dancing, she's in the center of that dance floor having the best of time, like, you're on homecoming court like, people loved you, like, you just attracted people to you, so, like, it was always in you, but it wasn't for anything to make it about yourself. It was just like you genuinely cared for people, and I think you did it out of the place of what you hoped people would do when they saw you and interacted with you. But there was still that, like, struggle of, like, "Who am I? Am I beautiful?" Those questions that you're wrestling with, and I think I can't remember what age or grade or if you're out of high school when you did your first, like, you submitted that, picture for was it BuzzFeed? Was that what it was?
Oh yeah, yeah, we were out of high school when I did that.
And I think that was, like, the first moment where it was just, like it was really cool just you taking a chance on yourself and seeing, like, "Hey, is there any, like, value to this?" Or, like, putting yourself out there, and just from that point, you did just become more confident in who you were, but not just making it about yourself, but you had a mission of, "Man, I wanna reach other girls that might be struggling with this, that may be just like me, who are bullying themselves and so hard on themselves, and if I can change that narrative for them, I wanna do that." And so, just as your
Mhm.
friend on the sidelines front row, it's been fun to see you truly grow in that confidence and self-acceptance. Can you share a bit about your own journey with body image and how it has shaped your perspective on beauty? Like, being where you're at, what you've gone through, how has that
Mhm.
changed how you see beauty itself?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see it so much differently, I think, than a lot of people. And I see, I think, like, for me, I definitely see, I don't take as much into account outward appearances.
Yeah,
I think I
yeah,
definitely look inward to people a lot more
yeah,
because I know how that feels to be judged for your outward appearance. And, but yeah, I mean, growing up too, I think, like, I have an 11-year-old niece.
mhm,
And if I ever have a daughter one day, like, I don't ridicule myself in front of her or talk about
yeah,
my body in front of her, or I'm very careful with my words and I don't want to spread that message even more that we should hate ourselves just
absolutely.
because we're women and society tells us that we should demean ourselves based on the way that we look
Mm,
and we should do better and
yeah,
keep changing ourselves to fit into some sort of narrative that
yeah,
society thinks that we should fit into.
absolutely. No, I think that's really, really good, and just you can even, like, I don't know, like, even just talking to you, like, you can hear it, like, it's something that you're passionate about. It's not just like, "Oh, this is important." Like, no, this really is important, especially because we're surrounded by so much influence of social media, and now just in the palm of our hands, we can be stuck in this trap of comparison. How do you navigate that, Like, you're in this model industry, I mean, you're surrounded
Yeah.
by tons of people trying to make yourself, you need to look, presentable, right? And then you're on social media. How do you navigate that?
It's really hard, and comparison's a really hard thing, and I think we all go through it, whether that be looks or, what we have, or I
Right.
want more, I want more. And I think, and I've experienced this, once I've gotten something I wanted, it's just going to the next thing, you know what I
Mm.
mean? And comparing myself with people, I think to me, it's like I don't even know why I even keep doing it, because it just leaves me depressed and
Yeah.
sad and upset. But so I try not to compare myself, and I really do try to like sit in the fact of like, but no one can be Katie Brown. I'm the only
Yeah.
one that can be Katie Brown.
Yeah.
Just like no one else can be the other girl that I'm comparing myself to. She can only be her
Right.
too.
Right.
So I think there's power in that. And I think there's power in saying like no one can be me, and
Yeah.
I can't be anyone else.
Mm.
And I think it goes back to, you're created exactly like you're supposed to look exactly how you're supposed to look for a reason.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a purpose why I look like this, why I have this hair color, this eye color, or my body shape like this. There's a purpose behind all of that. And I think I've, finally came to terms with like, that's such a beautiful thing. And how awesome is that?
Yeah. No, I love that. An image of just like when we've talked about this a lot too, it's like you have to love yourself where you're at while you're also loving yourself like where you're going. Like
Exactly.
we always want to work on ourselves in many areas, and sometimes we stress the outward things and we're a disgusting person on the inside, so that's what
Right.
I love is just like as much as you are focused outward, you're focused inward. Like I will talk to you and yeah, you're just always focused on those things of how can I better my relationship as a person, as in my relationship with Jesus, with other people.
Well, 100%. And I think I've said too, I mean, I've said to people, I'm like, I would rather you tell me that I'm ugly, fat, whatever, than you attack my character.
Mm,
That would hurt me more than you
wow.
telling me that I'm ugly.
Yeah. It's huge. And we don't put a huge emphasis on character development, and that's what's funny. And we all know this. It's like with social media, like we know it's this highlight reel. We know it's not true. A lot of us we're fake on social media, like you can
Mm.
make a photo look a certain way and you can put this caption on it, but you could be the most lonely, the most hateful, the most, frustrated individual to be around. And so it's like when you meet someone in real life and they're actually like someone you want to spend time with, which I know in like the modeling industry, like you've been given that compliment and you probably won't say that about yourself, but I could say it is that you literally have gotten people that, I mean, you write handwritten notes to people, like I'm like, if you know Katie Brown, you get a handwritten note. Like I've gotten so many handwritten notes from you, like in the mail, like it's the intentionality and it's, again, it's not for the gain or benefit of yourself. It's that you exude beauty in the way that it was intended to be seen, which is from the inside out. And I'm like, as your best friend, I'm like, this is why you're in my corner. This is why I want you in my life, is because this is who you are, and we need those type of people surrounding us. And I think that's what makes you stand out. And so, yeah, I just love you for that. You're just incredible that you got that. And I think we have to go through these seasons of hiddenness to discover that and to really see beauty for what it is. And so I just want to encourage girls that are listening because I'm like, I'm in the same corner sometimes where I beat myself up. I'm 30. I just put out my age. So sorry, that kind of puts your age out there too, Katie. You're welcome. She's
I
like,
don't
we just
know when you turn 30. I am 24.
Uh, but you do like as you age, as you grow up, it's like, okay, why am I still dealing with like hormonal acne? Why is my hair falling out? Or, I'm holding on to weight in areas that I don't want to hold weight onto. There's just so many things where this wrinkle come from, and we just get so fixated on those things. And so wherever you're out listening to this and just be mindful of the words that you're speaking over your life because they have power, and just the reality of what you said of like God took his time on you. And so what are things that we can be, saying over ourselves in a positive way? Not just like positive affirmations, but what does scripture say about who you are? And then do you believe that about yourself? So how do you like maneuver through the pressures of body image in the modeling industry?
Yeah. I definitely feel like I'm really am taking that on right now. I think there has been a trend recently that thinner is better.
Mm,
So that is something that I have been dealing with and trying to overcome and just again like really like feed that truth into myself that I hold value just as I
yeah,
am and I'm worthy just as I am.
yeah,
I don't need to be, a size 2 to be happy or have value in my life because
right.
I think at one time I was like, "Oh, if I'm a size whatever 6, I'm not going to have any problems and I'm going to be so happy.
Mm,
My be so perfect." But I think if you talk to a woman who is a small size, she still has problems.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So I feel like you still have problems, you still have struggles, doesn't matter what size you're at. And I
Yeah.
think too, I think it goes into sitting down and talking to the Lord about it. Like I finally gotten to that place where I can sit and talk to Jesus just like you and I do every single night and be like,
Mm,
this is what I'm going through. Like, give me peace.
absolutely.
And
That's
that's been like,
huge.
again, such a life changing thing for me. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, listen. And he's like, girl,
I
you
told
need
you
to get
this.
it together.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing about it.
But I love that. I love that. And that you genuinely do. Like you lean on the Lord. Like you go to him boldly and say, hey, this is what I'm wrestling with. But at the same time, it's like you're also like, thank you for what you're doing in my life. Thank you for
Yeah.
giving me these struggles and challenges because they're not just for me, it's for, what can I learn to encourage the next?
Right. And I do think it's like character building for sure.
Yeah.
I've been through
Yeah.
a lot of character building. I'm really almost done with the character building. But I feel like when I do go through things, whether that be rejection, and that could be all types of rejection. I've gone through
Yeah.
rejection in my personal life, in my career, like whatever, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it's character building. I'm like, gosh, man, that just made me so much stronger as a person, as a Christian. Like, man,
Yeah.
I've just like really just like leaned into Jesus so much
Yeah.
through all those things.
And I think another thing to be this is why I'm so like I think it's so huge that you have this foundational relationship with the Lord because as you grow in your platform and what you're doing, you also are experiencing so much hate. Where there's a lot of people that love you and are for you and you are just setting, just a trendsetter, in that sense and like paving the way for a larger look at what beauty really is, there's also still those individuals that have those anonymous accounts or whoever they are, that
Mhm.
just come at you. So how when those comments and when those things come in, like what do you do with that?
Yeah, I honestly like they really don't bother me as much as I thought that they
Yeah,
would. Probably when I was like 18, I mean, they probably would have destroyed me. But now I'm like, they really do. I just let them sort of fall out, off my
I
shoulder.
love it. I love it.
And two, my thing is, if I don't know you personally, I'm not gonna let you speak into my life.
Ooh, that's
Because
good.
I'm like, you don't know me. Like, you literally only see like the smallest snippet of who I am on my
Mm,
social media platform. Like, really, truly, the smallest snippet.
yeah,
And I'm like, you don't know me. You can't speak into my life. Like, I'm not going to let you tell me who I am because you don't even
right.
know who I am. And again, I think it goes back to that. Please call me ugly, call me fat, whatever you want to call me about my physical appearance all day long. I would much
Mm,
rather do that than someone attack my
wow.
character. I think being called fat is not the worst thing in the world. I would much rather be called fat than be called unkind, ungracious,
Wow.
ungrateful
Wow.
all day long, you know?
Mm. No, that's really, really good. I love that. And I love it because it's also learning to take every thought captive. It's realizing
Right.
where is this thought coming from, this opinion coming from? It's not coming from God and what he says about me. So I'm just going to throw that off to the side real quick and then replace it again
Right.
with, this is who I am.
Right. And I think it's sitting in that truth too. I mean, like the Bible verse that says she is more precious than rubies.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And I
yeah.
think that's, and I'm like, if that, you know, when you're saying those things about me, that's not truth.
Yeah. And it's not
And
like we're a
so,
surprise in our appearance to the Lord. Like, again, he knows us. He knew what we were going to look like, who we were going to become. And in that time, you know, like these are the things he's
exactly.
speaking over
And
us.
two, I think it's really,
I love this.
I think it's funny. No, I just think it's funny too when people comment and like, you're fat. Like, I don't see myself in a mirror every single day.
She's like, cool, glad that we have
I'm
that out
like,
there.
I look at myself every day in the mirror and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, do you think I just have never seen myself? Like, I'm just confused.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just,
okay.
that's actually funny. And also,
It is really funny.
I don't know how to
actually
respond to it
laugh
at the same
when
time.
someone.
I'm like, is it appropriate to laugh? But you're my best friend, so I know you.
Well,
But I just want to make sure
I do
everyone
think
else
it's
knows.
funny.
Yeah, no, I think, you know, something else because of who my audience is of, you know, Cherish and on the Asterisk podcast, something that a lot of girls are probably navigating too when it comes to body image. Probably the number one person that we are trying to impress is boys, right? Or the attraction of others. And so, what advice, throwing you a curveball here,
Help
because
us.
I know, but it's good because I think
I
there
don't
are
know
a
if
lot
I'm the
of
right
girls.
person you want to
I think
come
you are
to.
absolutely the right person. How do you navigate that? I mean, you
Yeah.
are someone that's walking through that, and you know there can be, you know, struggles. You've been there as a teenager, as a young adult. Uh, how do you process through, like, I'm living this life for myself, like when it comes to the opposite sex and wanting their attention and maybe feeling like I'm not something that they would want.
Yeah, I definitely, yeah, me and you, I think we've had a lot of conversations about
Yeah.
this and a lot of vulnerability, like privately about this. And it's tough. And I think as someone who has never, oh man,
You're
really
welcome.
dated. I know.
You're
First time I
welcome.
ever said that. I don't really like put my private life out there that much, but
But it's so good.
um,
I'm like, I want people to comment in and say we need more from Katie, and they're going to. But
you
keep
know,
going.
but never really dated and things like that. You know, I definitely feel like I took myself out of the game, so to speak,
Mm,
because I was so afraid of rejection.
mm,
And so I didn't even try to date or anything when I was in my 20s because I was like, it's better for me not to even try and have the rejection
mm,
than maybe even try, maybe find someone. Like I'd
yeah.
rather just not even.
Mm,
And I lived a lot of my life that way for a long time.
yeah.
So, and I feel like now having a personal relationship with Jesus and him seeing me and seeing how he sees me,
Mm,
I think some days I still feel that because
yeah.
that's real.
Yeah.
But I think I always wanted to be seen, validated, and chosen.
Mm,
That's what I wanted when I was in high school. You know this.
yeah.
And then I think I just really pushed down those feelings for a long time.
Yeah.
And then I think those feelings like came up again and I wanted those things. I
Mm,
wanted to feel those things again. And I thought, I'm already all those things. Jesus already made me feel
wow.
validated,
Wow.
chosen, and seen. He already makes me feel those things. So I don't need that from a man. And I know at some point, God willing, like
I love you.
God willing, you know, that a man's gonna come to my life and he is gonna see all those things. And
Yeah.
I want to be seen as a person and for my character and who I am and not
Yeah.
for what I look like, you know? And I think too, I don't know. It's a weird thing.
No, I think it's so important, and it's I know so many times when I like say things, I'm like, oh, this is so cliche, or like they always say it, but it's like when you get it,
Mhm.
it's like the importance of finding that within yourself before you find it within someone else.
100%. Because
Mm,
I don't want someone to be my other half. Like, I want to be whole and meet someone
yep,
else at their whole.
yep. And it's like even me now in marriage, it's like with my husband, he can't fulfill me. Like even
Mhm.
on his best days when I'm struggling, he can't give me what I need. It's literally only the Lord, and I have to know that in marriage. Like, and my husband, like, he definitely compliments my friendships, and even if you're not married, like, they compliment me. Like, there's a reason we call our friends, and we want that comfort.
Mhm.
But really what, like, gets to you, like, what fills that is being with the Lord, and
Right.
spending that time and knowing He's the only one that can truly satisfy. And
Yeah.
sometimes that goes where you have to go and you find that out for yourself by trying it in every other option. And I feel
Yeah.
like you and I bonded a lot in the fact that we tried a lot of other things and we've come back to,
Yeah.
I guess He's the one that
Right.
satisfies.
One, I think it's a certain level of intimacy that, like, no one will you'll never be able to have with anyone else.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
The fact
So
that He bottles up every tear, like He knows every desire
right,
of our heart, nothing goes unseen, unnoticed. He knows the amount of hairs on your head. Like He cares. He gets you. And
right.
even when, like you sitting in the driveway trying to share with me for the first time, how bad, how hard, how sad, how challenging it's been, it's like we're still just scratching the surface. And even now, it's like
Right.
I will never be able to understand fully what it's like to walk in your shoes, but I'm never
Mhm.
going to stop trying to understand. And so I think it's good too for, people with, friends or in similar situations as us, like again, you may not be able to relate to someone else's story, but never stop trying to understand their story and being intentional of checking in on how they're navigating through that. But
Mhm.
also the reminder of like, man, the Lord does see that individual and does care. And when we make that our source, it's a game changer.
Oh,
Katie, oh
for
yeah,
sure.
go
Oh,
for it.
I do have a book recommendation that I've
Oh,
been
drop it,
reading.
drop it.
It's so good. I highly recommend for anyone that else that's single. I mean, I think, married people could read it too. But
Thanks for
it's called
including us.
Praying You're welcome. Praying for your husband before you even have one
Mm,
by Kim Bollendorf. So good. It is so
okay.
good. High
We'll put it in
recommend.
the show notes. That'll be a good
Yes,
one.
you should.
No, I
It's
think that's
it's
great.
been so good listening to it, and I think being in a like waiting season and like being in this now and not yet has
Yeah.
been really helpful for me and like really finding like my worth within myself before I find that person. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think something that's good with that too is like a lot of times we're waiting and asking for all these things in another person, and it's like, am I that person for them? Like am
Exactly.
I growing in those areas too? And so instead of fixating like I need, it's like, no, I want to become. I want to become.
Right.
I want to be these things that I'm looking for as well. Uh
100%.
yeah. So
Right.
I
I want to be, the person that they're looking for too and as,
absolutely.
full of Jesus and confident and have all that worth because again, I don't want to fall back into that. I need someone to validate me because I don't.
Right. Did you girl, you don't. I love it. She gets so confident. She's like, I don't need it. I'm good. So, well, let's wrap it up with this question. Maybe it'll be a two for one. What's your hope, Katie? Like, what's the message that you want to convey about beauty and self-worth through the work that you're doing? What's the advice that you'd want to
Mhm.
give?
Yeah, I definitely think in my prayer, when I'm praying and when I'm spending time with God in my journaling, I think recently what I've really found is that my mission or my purpose is to truly bring hope and healing
Mm,
to women, but especially this community of plus size women.
yeah.
Just because I've been there, I'm in your shoes, I know how that feels, and I want women to know like their worth and that they're so much worthy than what the world tells you that you are.
Absolutely. I love it. And you're already doing it. You truly are. You're such a blessing. Well, ladies, girls, I don't know what to call y'all sometimes. We're going to go with ladies today. Ladies.
Ladies.
I'm like, this is just full on personality. I don't know. If you're here and you're like, who is this girl? Like, you don't have to stay here, but I think I'm hilarious. Okay. I have had such a great time on this episode, Katie, just getting to do this with you. It's so wild, like looking back and seeing all what the Lord has done in and through you. I mean, I think many of us, we realize when you have a friend like this, it's something special and it's something that we have worked for, but specifically just looking at your journey, like everything you're talking to, like I'm only inviting guests on the show where I'm like, I've seen the fruit, I've seen the evidence, because I want to introduce this community to women in my life that I'm inspired by, and I'm inspired by you. I'm inspired by your mission, what God's called you to, and just what you're walking out. So thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for your transparency. And for the girls that were listening today, if this episode touched your life, please share it with someone else. Maybe you know someone walking through a hard time who's waiting or just really struggling with how they view themselves. Share this episode with them. Make sure you are continuing to follow along in season 2 and follow us on all the social media platforms. But we were so glad that you were here and to listen to this conversation, and we will be back here again soon.
Love you guys.